Okay, well, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to come and learn more about the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada parenting workshops. I'm going to just go through the presentation. Please feel free at any point to ask any questions that you might have around the parenting programs and the parenting workshops. So Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada believes that all parents have the ability to make positive changes in their family relationships, and that the parent-child relationship is the primary importance to healthy child development, which is why when the new strategic plan came out from Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada, we've talked about family support. And then in addition to that, within the operating standards, in the programming section, there is a section around families and having input into program planning, activities and events, and that there are events for families to attend. So one of the ways that, that clubs can help meet this standard is by offering the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada parenting programs workshops. So it not only, meets the operating standards, but it also addresses key community issues that are happening within your own community. So just a quick overview of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada parenting programs. The parenting programs have been in place here in British Columbia for quite some time. One of our programs called Parents Together has actually been in place since 1988, so we've had a long history in developing parent education and parenting workshops. It came to our attention that clubs across Canada were wanting to offer parenting programs and needed to do that in a way that was very easy and manageable to implement. So Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada introduced the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada workshops. So these workshops have been designed to meet the needs of all communities. The sessions can be offered as a series, or they can be offered as individual workshops. So clubs have the ability to really customize the workshops and have it meet the needs of their community. The workshops do focus on the preteen and teen developmental period, and this is because we've often found here in British Columbia that supports for parents with younger children are often more easy and readily available, whereas the preteen and teen developmental period, there's not as many programs for those key periods, so we have developed these workshops to kind of fill that niche. So the parenting programs workshops do follow a curriculum. When clubs implement these workshops, they are asked to follow the curriculum and only use the copyrighted material during these sessions. And the reason why we ask this is because we are collecting data on these parenting workshops. So this is to ensure that the data is all consistent and that the workshops are being offered in the same way across Canada. And this will give us a really good base of data, and clubs are more than able to access that for funding reports and grant writing. And we also hope to do research in the future with this data as well. So you might be wondering what topics are included for the workshop. So here you'll see on the screen there's a list of the topics included. The first one is navigating the teen years. So this is for parents of teens. And this really talks about adolescent brain development, the developmental stages that, and behaviors that parents can expect to see within the teen years, and how to really build on the relationship between the parent and the teen. The second workshop is preparing for the teen years, and this is for parents of preteens. And many parents come to these workshops really just trying to prepare for the adolescent years and know what to expect, and just come and gain some confidence about entering the adolescent period. The third one is family values. So within this session, the facilitator talks about how family values can impact our parenting and impact some of the normal conflicts that happen between parents and preteens and teens, and just sort of help parents work through some of those values clashes. The fourth workshop is Connecting Through Communication, and this is actually great for parents of all ages. We do more about the preteen and teen years, but the communication strategies that we talk about are really applicable all throughout the lifespan. The fifth workshop is Living in a Step Family, and this came about because within British Columbia, when we've been collecting our own data, we serve about 500 to 600 parents a year in British Columbia alone. We demographically saw that the step family is becoming more and more prevalent, and there are certainly specific challenges that can happen when trying to blend a family. So we developed this workshop to address some of those common concerns. The sixth workshop is Making Sense of Stress and Anxiety, and this is applicable to all ages as well, and it's to help parents address some of the very, very common feedback that we receive all the time about kids and teens feeling stress and anxiety and what parents can do to help. And number 7 is Technology in Parenting, and this is applicable for all ages as well. And this came about from parents asking for support around technology use. So we have, within that workshop, everything from excessive internet use, cyberbullying, sexually explicit content and how to deal with it, and lots of resources and places to turn for parents who are experiencing challenges in their parenting related to technology. So the group model is, again, workshops can be offered in a series or as individual workshops. They can be offered from 1.5 to 2.5 hours, depending on your preference. Again, that's up to each club how they'd like to manage that. Some groups decide to have a break in the middle and offer refreshments and have it be more of a social activity. And then others will do a shorter workshop model and maybe be like a lunch and learn for parents or something that could happen really quickly as they're picking their kids up from after school care. So really clubs have the ability to customize it how they would like and what would work best within their club environment. Some of the things we've seen with clubs in British Columbia who've offered the workshops and how they've successfully implemented it is, really addressing barriers. And I think as clubs we know this already, that as many barriers as we can address, the easier it is for parents to come and seek support. There is stigma attached to seeking parenting support, and that's something that many clubs will struggle with, is trying to engage those parents who they know need the support and who are maybe feeling challenged because of the stigma attached to that. So the workshops can be a great first step in providing that kind of support. They're short in duration, they can be more of a social activity, and they're very topic-based. And then many times parents will come into our workshops and then go into other types of parenting support, and so it's been seen as a recruitment tool. So addressing childcare if possible is great. Offering transportation if that's an identified need within your community. Running a concurrent program for children and youth can be really effective, and we've seen that happen before. Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada a few years ago ran a pilot project where it was a parenting program that was running concurrently with the Take It Easy program for preteens, and that worked really well because the kids are in a program at the same time that the parents are in a program, and the topics can be woven together. Of course, we know that offering food at programs is a great way to attract people to come to programs. And then the other piece that's been quite successful for clubs in British Columbia is connecting with other organizations. So, if you can connect with your local school, with PAC committees, with other youth-serving organizations. Some have done it in collaboration with a community center. Those types of collaborations can can help recruit parents to the program and give you a wider scope to provide parenting support in your community. So lots of times clubs are concerned about, staffing and having staff in place who would be able to facilitate the parenting workshops. The good news about this is that the staff person does not have to be an expert in parenting. That's not the role of the facilitator in our programs. Facilitators certainly don't have to be experts, and they don't need to have all the answers. The facilitator offers the information that is in the curriculum. They listen. They help connect some of the ideas with the parents' comments and concerns that are happening. But the curriculum is not prescriptive in that some parenting programs have, 10 steps on how to be the perfect parent. Our programs are not like that. We have a really broad-based curriculum, and parents can take those concepts and apply it to their own lives in ways that make sense for them and for their family. So it's a very non-judgmental approach to providing support and fits really, really well in terms of the Boys and Girls Club's philosophy and just really supporting parents where they are. And oftentimes when parents come to the workshops, they will feel that kind of support, and then they're able to look for other support if they need it. So if you're thinking about the programs and you're thinking about, well, who would be appropriate to have in the program as a staff person, staff can come from all different backgrounds and experiences. What we have seen, the staff who've been most successful and have enjoyed the positions the most have strong backgrounds in working with families, with education around relationship and attachment-based practices are best suited for the facilitator position. So really coming from that relationship place, that the parent-child relationship is the most important, and a really non-judgmental approach is a really good fit for this position. Also, mature staff that are able to deal with sensitive content and who have the ability to empathize with parents is really important as well. Even though these workshops are very topic-based, I think there's always the potential that information could be disclosed during the workshop, so it's important to have a staff in place who would know how to deal with those types of situations and also know how to keep an environment, a group environment, safe for everybody that's there and make people feel comfortable in that environment. So the programs are curriculum-based, and they're ready to offer and short in duration with minimal administration, and therefore can be potentially built into already existing positions. So oftentimes, clubs might feel like they need to have a designated staff person in a role that's what they do is parenting support, and that certainly can happen. But what we see more often is that the club will build these positions into already existing positions. And because it's curriculum-based, there's not a lot of preparation to happen before starting the workshops. They can be built into existing positions fairly easily, and that's definitely our intention in designing the workshops, is to make them easy to implement. And just the last little piece around staffing is clubs have the autonomy to decide how to staff the programs and how to implement them in ways that best suit their community's needs. So they're very, very flexible. So part of agreeing to offer the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada parenting workshops is there is a small data collection piece, and it's very, very small. The reason why we are collecting the data is to ensure the quality of the programs that are being offered. We offer the data to the clubs as a way to evaluate the program and meet the program outcomes. So there are outcomes attached to the workshops, and that information can be shared with you. And we collect that data to just ensure that we are continually meeting those outcomes. We'll be using the data for future potential research. And again, all of this data is available to clubs if they would like it. So basically what we're asking you to collect is just a small satisfaction survey after the workshops. Just asking parents about if the topic was suitable, was the content good, is there anything else that they'd like to see in terms of topics, and that will guide us in developing even more parenting workshops and having more available to clubs. Also, part of offering the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada parenting workshops, all of the print material is provided. So we have wrap cards that are available. We have posters. We have information sheets that can go to parents, that can go to professionals. And all of those documents are available to clubs. We do provide the electronic copies for free to all clubs, so you can email them out. You can do whatever you like with them. We also do offer the option to have the material printed. And you can either use Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada's preferred printer, or you could do that locally. So we work with clubs all the time who have a printer in their community that they'd like to have the material printed there. And I work with the printer and send that information there, and you can have it printed locally. So it's completely up to you how you would like to manage that piece. It is important to note, though, that we do ask that you use only our material, and that's just, again, about program continuity, so that the programs look the same across Canada. And the material can be customized for your local club, so we can put your logo on it, your local community contact info, whatever you need to make it applicable to your community.
Deena?
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are we able to get the workshops to review them before deciding to run the program?
That is absolutely possible, yes.
Great, thanks.
So typically what I do is I just send the electronic version, and you can have a look at them and see if they're a good fit. Okay, so there is a manual for the programs, obviously. So an electronic version can be sent to you. There's no charge for this. Or you can have the full manual printed, again, either by your local printer or by our printer. And generally, sometimes depending on where you are and just fluctuations in the cost, it's usually somewhere between $30 and $40 if you print it. And just a reminder that we do ask all of the material is copyrighted and not to be used outside of the parenting groups. And this is just for program continuity as well. And a great part of offering the parenting workshops is that you're part of a larger parenting community. So we do have clubs across Canada that are already starting to offer the parenting workshops, and you become part of a group that I send out information to all the time about parent education, about family support on a number of different topics of resources that might be of use to you. And it certainly can be used not only for parenting programs, but in any support that you do with families. We also have a parenting program social media page. We have Twitter, we have a Twitter account, and we also have a Facebook page. And they are updated daily with lots of good things to share with families. You're also able to contact me anytime if you have any questions about the program. And I can also connect you with other clubs and facilitators who are already offering the group. If you'd like to get some feedback from a club, what it's like to offer the program, you know, their feedback and their testimonials around it, I'd be happy to connect you with some of those folks. So whatever you need to really implement the workshops, we're definitely here to help and help make that an easy process and offer support to families. So that's what I have in terms of a presentation. I know it's a quick overview, and I'm certainly able to send out, we do have a package that we send to clubs who are interested in offering the programs that's a little more in-depth. I can certainly share that with anybody who would like it, and also an example of the workshop so you can see kind of what the flavor of the workshop is and if it would be a good fit for your community. So, Brandy, I guess we can open it up to questions.
All right, great. If you have questions, please type them in the chat box, and we will answer them. Deena, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Probably the best way to contact is via email, and my information is, I think, on the screen there, Brandy. Is that right?
Yep, it's right here. So it's on the screen there. Deena's email address. Please make note of it.
Where?
Under Contact BGCC Staff. There's Brandy Jones on the first one. Deena's the second one.
And we do have information on the Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada website. There's a page that has information about our programs, and my contact information is on there as well. And I see there's a question. Can the Gander Club get an electronic version of the workshops? Absolutely, we can do that.
Please remember to send the questions to everyone, but I have one that was sent privately. It says, have you offered the courses outside of BGC programs to other service providers?
Maybe I just need a bit more clarification on the question.
Hi, it's Adam from the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa. I'm one that asked the question privately by accident.
Okay.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
No.
I came in a little late, so apologies. So my question is, you know, obviously there's a lot of organizations that are doing a lot of work in regards to parenting and parental support in terms of programs. So my question would be, has there been any opportunity to assist in training other has any other organizations approached you know, clubs that are offering this program to have them come in and do a facilitation in outside of the Boys and Girls Club realm?
Yes, definitely. We've had that happen here in British Columbia, and as long as the programs are being offered through the club, we don't necessarily need them to happen, you know, within a club environment. And there's been lots of partnerships that have happened. So there's flexibility, I think, in meeting your community needs, and if it's partnering with another organization that offers that type of support. What we do ask is that it would be club staff offering the program or co-facilitating. That's the model that we've used here in British Columbia.
That's excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have some other questions there. Deena, you see them? There's a lot of people asking for the electronic version of the workshop, and that's great that everyone's interested. It would be best to contact Deena, and her email address is right on the screen there, Ropp-Reis, well, Ropp-Reis at BGCCAN.com. Do you want to continue answering the questions, Deena?
I'm not.
Okay, where we left off is, let's see, hold on. Oh, actually, no, there's no more questions. It was just about the electronic version of the workshop, so we answered that.
Great. Well, I will definitely do that. And can we get a copy of the presentation as well? Absolutely.
Great.